Yeah, because at times, hey, look at all of them doing their thing, having a party down there. Okay, at times you're so full of precious materials that you do not want to drop, and all your stuff just go everywhere. So, any safety that we can have for that not to happen, especially with our experience. And as you go on, when I first started, I was just like, what am I even going to do with all this experience? I don't really know what to even do with it. And as I watched some very, very fortunate tutorials, like I was fortunate for running into them, of course I figured out, enchanting is a thing, back when we first started getting going back again, when I first started playing the game a long time ago, I don't think we even had enchanting tables, and if we did, I had no idea about them. So you can imagine how terrible mining was in a way. When you lose a diamond pickaxe finally, you're like, well, that sucks. Safety on those turns right there. Okay, and we're getting pretty close to our original starter area. Right down here was our starter area. I'd say probably about right in there. And I had to run around and try to find what would be the best place for me. I didn't like that area over there. Didn't like the color of the grass. This grass was okay, but not a lot of trees around, and I needed some materials, and it just... An area, of course, like, I'm thinking like a regular person in a way, like, oh, this looks like a good area that would flood, I don't want to live in a flood basin, so... Come right on over here, and... I finally chose that mountain over there, and decided to make that, or that hill, whatever. Look at that glowing fellow right down there. I'm jealous of all your glow you got going on. Ooh, lucky hit. Skillful hit. Alright, so you can see that I heavily sky bridged my way across a ton of places over there, going pretty far out. Because originally, I was looking for a village, and I was looking for just new areas. And when you have no armor and you have no materials for making great things at first, you don't really feel like jumping along. And I couldn't find any sheep for the life of me in this in this zone. So yeah, making a bed was kind of a hard thing at first. So we kind of ended up in these windswept hills, and it's really pretty. I like it. I love hills anyways, and there was rain here, so that was kind of new. Wherever I lived on the original time that I played this game, I didn't have much rain. Okay, you can see that this is a little farm up here, mob farm, but it only works okay. And the reason why it only works okay is because this is built up so high that the water that's inside of here ends up freezing up. Yeah, that's the thing. The water will freeze up, and the mobs, they end up falling over time. And, of course, maybe it's not enough tiers tall to really... there's not enough tiers of the little bases of, of the flat areas up there for them to spawn. Or spawn areas. For them to really mount up a whole lot, to get enough to make this super fun and effective. And also later on, most of that stuff I didn't really need. It's okay, and some of it I'm learning to use more of it over time. But really what I needed more was experience. So I ended up relying heavily on animals and cow crushers, So, anyways, let's go on a little tour here after I drop off a few things. Alright, this is our little sky base here. Definitely a rough area. I'm not into the super hardcore organization, but I wanted to work out in the open. And I have some storage inside this little hill mountain base there, but we'll explore this first. This is just the initial, very unorganized stuff. It's mainly like, stone, metal, foods, and the amount of different materials in this game kind of add up pretty dang quick. Some of your basic use tables here, and also I was like, well, what's a fletching table? Yeah, I didn't really want to look it up, but I should have just looked it up. I mean, for villagers, not for me. Grindstone, blast furnace, and regular furnace, and our little saw there. And a chicken. Okay, our first field up here that we wanted to get going, and then I built a little section off to the side. Water supply, permanent water supply there. For our tree farm. Tree farm is pretty basic. It's just a basic little tree farm built on 2 tiles or 1 tile. Yeah. So keep it lit whenever you're doing a cheapo version like I did, where it's just 1 tile thick, 1 block thick, because anything that happens up here, you can end up falling through. Yeah. So if a creeper kind of spawns up here and decides to explode, you have a giant pit in the middle of everywhere. Also, it's easy for people to fall off here until you're used to it. And later on, we built ourselves a little way to get back up here. This neat little waterfall, and very fast-growing wheat down there. And that jerk, I dislike them. The Elderman, yeah. Okay, so Elderman. Anyways, that down there, yeah, I'll show that to you later. It's pretty dang interesting. Grows really fast for a wheat supply, because up here I didn't feel like building another sky field, and eventually I added in stairs, and I did go around all of our base here except for on that side, because to kind of get rid of extra stairs, because mobs, if they want to come up here, they'll find a way to bounce up here over time, spiders especially. So I kind of got rid of their ability to do that as much as I could, and plus, because Eldermen were definitely giving me a little bit of trouble around here, just spawning up here and taking away my blocks, because I love water and I'm addicted to waterfalls. I installed all these nice little waterfalls, which, will surprise some people maybe, but, your enemies can get up there, and they can come on up your own waterfalls that you make. So it's good to install certain things, like I put a fence in the middle of that on the ones that you don't want them using. The ones that you use, doodly-doo, it's fine, Now let's go take a tour inside. It's very quaint in here, very cozy, very just simple looking. We do have, I did begin to host this because I do have a friend joining in on the game from time to time, getting spare time to help do builds or whatever. Original storage, this is the very first place that I started. I came into this mountain and I built just a quick little way to get in here, hop down my very first bed, and I was like, well, okay, we're going to establish this base, and so I decided to build, or start digging down, so I could get iron and all that, and coal, and I made my first beginner, dig areas, or dig sites. And I would say, hey, you might want to cave at first and find some initial things, but I felt safer just taking a bunch of stone pickaxes and building up everything that I could build up, and shovels, and getting everything established in one area. This was my first I wanted to see how long it took for our mob spawner over here to actually produce anything. Hey there, yeah, I forgot you. I should bring you over to the other place. Sorry, doggo. But anyways, I wanted to build me a safe area where I could just kind of AFK, and look at that, look at this structure actually in the works there, and that's kind of when I figured out I might need to go up my service ladder here and dig in there and see what's going on, and that's when I found ice forming on water. Yeah, And so, also, this was the first little holding area for chickens that I found to start breeding them over here. But yeah, and also, obviously, just built this up. Probably too many of these for enchantments. Our first enchantment area, of course, you know. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have that. I actually got that from fishing. That was like the second time that I threw the fishing line in and was gonna fish, and a book came out. I was like, "What is this?" And I hadn't even enchanted a single thing yet. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, back to Sky Island exploration here. Come on down, hop, hop, hop. I'm just spending extra time. I'm not really rushing through this. So, yeah, little clock right there. Time that I took a trip into the Nether, and okay, so look at these pretty things. I got them built up. I wanted it to kind of be like a little vacation area right here. A little cover while I'm fishing, and this is my first little fishing area. Wanted to build one on the base, and I like it. It's kind of relaxing here, and I've expanded so much on this. Now, at first I thought I built this cow crusher over here. This is like my third one that I built, and it was going to be closer to home once I was able to get more cows brought over here. This thing is ugly. It's really ugly. It's very utilitarian, and it's ugly, and it's loud. Just like me. Okay, so, and then we have our little chicken pen over here. They're cool. This is my first chicken pen. I found out that they are super annoying. Because if you don't build up enough fencing, they will get right on over there. And things like that happen. Also, this is from throwing eggs everywhere because at first I thought, oh man, I'm so happy to get a hold of all these chickens, and I was like, all these freaking chickens. Yeah, okay, so this is our first little built-on island parts, two building blocks thick of dirt. Or actually, might be 4 up here and then 2 over here. Anyways, so when I was first getting started, I was like, well, this is obviously what we need for paper. No, it's not. It's actually sugarcane, because that makes sense. So I was watching a great YouTuber, Waddles, as far as for Minecraft stuff, on how to build one of these right here, a sugarcane collector little farm. Which we can go through that, but there's probably plenty of people out there who can show you how to build one of these a lot easier, a lot better, a lot more thorough. But, yeah, it works, and I find that I will probably never build another one of these. It might look cool, and it's cool that there's the automatic collection, but really, if you just, make a row of water, or go find a coast and plant just a crap ton of sugarcane, to me, it's just as effective, if not faster, just to do that, because it grows really fast. This is a neat concept, and of course, if you do this in many tiers, it will be, the more levels that you have, it'll be great. So, fenced off all these areas because, oh yeah, this is also original starting hiding place, because you build out so far, and I wanted to like a homemade gatehouse for enemies that were coming in from all these sky bridges, because this connects onto all these hills. Look at that guy. He's like, hey, I see your place. I'd like to come up there. I bet you have chocolate pancakes. But we don't have any chocolate pancakes, so, and I didn't want them trying to share pancakes that I supposedly didn't even have, so I built these little gatehouses along the way, and actually, let's go along and hit this chicken. Go away. Okay. Move. I'll try to show y'all all the original areas that we started from, because, oh wow, this is dangerous. I'm being safe. I'm gonna creep along here and see if I don't bounce off a cow. Okay. Yes, okay. So, this was our original sky bridge for trying to find all the new areas and eventually try to find animals, because I could not, at first, I was having bad luck finding sheep And chickens, I was having a problem finding anything in the plains, really. Except for a ton of horses. I have a ton of horses. Oh, look, and this is my original cow crusher right here. This is the very first one that I built. I built it away from my land because I knew from watching tutorials over the cow crusher that it was loud and annoying. But then eventually I didn't care as much. Yeah. And so I brought them closer to home, closer to my wheat fields. So this is another gatehouse. I use this area to kind of rest whenever it turned nighttime and all the spawns would happen before. And this is before, of course, that I had collected enough coal to properly make up all the lighting. When you make sky bridges, you really have to keep up on your lighting because you've just made a new area for them to spawn on, just higher up in the air. Of course, you can see all these different little places that I decided, were a good idea to drop off from. Because I was just tired of, needing a place to get down from. So I would just pillar all the way up. And, yeah, a lot of these places aren't really places that I have any interest in going. I've been there. They're cool. But, of course, there are a ton of unexplored caves all in this area, which will forever, indefinitely provide me plenty of cool random materials, so you don't have to keep on branch mining if you don't want to. And look at this dork. I don't like him. He's going Elliot. They look like tall. They're like ETs, to me. Elliot. Okay. Go away. Well, when I first started playing, I accidentally hit one, and it was the end of me. They really just beat the crap out of you if you're not prepared. If you don't know how to fight them, they take so much damage, even with good armor. But you can see how many things just pop up around here. And this is kind of a fatter bridge. And really easy to get up onto for mobs. But I guess where I have it so well lit in certain areas, they just don't really come up around here anymore. And, well, probably shouldn't have that open. But anyways, different ways to get into my little sky base here. Yeah, all these little, waterfalls. They're really helpful. And like I said, when I first started this area, because I haven't played in a while, and even when you do play for a while, falling off is a thing. And, as a noob, you probably don't want to build so high up in the air that you're always constantly falling. I guess I should be kind of prepared in case something tries to attack me around here. But, different ways to get back. Oh, that was a fail. Different ways to get back into the base, especially if you're trying to share and you're trying to make a little server. There we go. Alright, we're back. That are kind of safe. Safe for everybody to get into. And some of these places I have blocked off. Okay, this little design right here, great for if you're trying to not, accidentally fall off, or if you're trying to stop things from going up your waterfall. That's a good way to do it. Now, they can hop up slightly and probably, put it in crawl mode and safely climb around until they find a way to get in. But it's never been a problem. So, Sky Island was super fun, but it was kind of low on materials. It's kind of like an isolationist, you have to bring all these materials in. You have to trade for all these materials to, make all these things. So, of course, we live on top of a hill mountain area, so it's, not hard to find cobblestone. Yeah, and, this is the first place that I found diamond. And now it's time to show you, after I close this up, show you the mine. No, not the mine that's inside the house, but the mine that I built on the side up here at the top of the mountain. And, of course, I've fallen off of this thing a billion times, so I'm pretty used to it. But this place, this is my first big mine shaft. Now, how many times have I died going down this mine shaft? Many, many times. Many. Oh, something just died over there. Okay, So yeah, I've died trying to go and navigate this thing. This is before I really looked up, which a lot of things you should just look up. And and I'm not trying to take all the mystery out of the game for myself. I want to show it to people and all that. But you really should look up the ore distribution. It has changed, and yeah, it's a lot different than what it was. I feel like, but going all the way down here to the lowest point, finding bedrock. Yeah, it's a long way down, and like I said, I've died many times, and eventually I've slowly over time kind of covered up that area as far as to keep myself from falling all the way down. But look, we can go even farther down, and this is getting down to the lowest point. And you can see this is my first big mine that I explored. It was the first time that I'd seen any of these giant caves, so I died down here to mobs very easily. Skeletons back then could just take me out. You got everything trying to bust up on you when you're first starting. When you're a newbie, you don't have anything going for you. You got a stone sword, and you got the most basic of armor. Like a partial set of iron. Yeah, it's not really. That's why I'm not really too much into caving at first, even though it can provide you some quick smash and grab materials. There are ways to do it and do it properly, because I feel like caving, they have a lot of different ore spawns in them that maybe they wouldn't typically have, but they're already dug out areas for you. So you might find less of a certain ore type, but it's already there out in the open. You can just run in and get attacked by everything. Yeah, when you first get in there, you get attacked by everything. So you have to slowly go in and plant you a torch. Cover that area up and get it lit. And go a little bit further, kill a zombie or two, and then plant another torch and plant another torch. And you rinse and repeat, and hopefully don't die. Hopefully, this is also a good time to teach you how to fight, and which is why I love distance fighting. Yeah, it's why I have this awesome bow right here. I really wanted that bow. We'll talk about that later, about how much work it took to get this bow, but anyways, I like that distance fighting. So caving might be a good way to teach yourself how to do your initial fighting and survive, and get a few quick materials. But if you just want to play it safe, you can just dig on down, however many tiles, and wide and whatever, and go from there, because you'll run into your coal first, and then some iron, maybe, depending on how high you are. And then in the middle, nothing. It seems like nothing for a while, and then copper for a long while. And likely you'll end up running into a cave with the 1.18 update. It seems like everywhere eventually leads to a gigantic cave, a whole cave system. I mean, I feel like I could dig down anywhere and run into yet another cave system. It might be even too much, but it's very lucky, and it makes life interesting in the game, because you never know what you'll find, and it feels like less problems with lava than when I first started, because lava was the biggest scary thing in the world. Water and lava. Running into water caves, though, is more of a reality now, I feel like. And I've died a few times that way. I lost my first great materials and armor set and all that, and I was devastated because I ran into a water cave, and I ended up just drowning myself down there accidentally. And then by the time I got back to my materials, they were gone, because after 5 minutes, those things are gone. You have 5 minutes after you respawn to go back and get your materials, and I was almost to the point where I was like, I should have turned it on where I don't lose my materials every time I die. But I want this all to be a challenge, or else I could just put it on peace mode, and do creative mode. And I'm not really into that. I always want some type of challenge. But anyway, this is Skybase. Very relaxing area. but also kind of a very dangerous area if you don't know how to, not fall off the edge, which, like I said, I've done many times, and I've given myself plenty of opportunity to do so. I mean, look at this. But there are still ways to get up here. It's just I shut them off because this place has been raided before. Yeah, and also salesman came by, that little trader with his llamas or whatever. And those things, if you accidentally hit them, they spit at you. And one of those llamas, they spit at me so hard they knocked me off the side of my own floating island. I died because of the spitting llama. A spitting llama. Oh yeah, and right down there is the first little gate there, and it was incomplete, of course, and all that, and I put that together. That was the first place where I found obsidian, first place to get obsidian, and yeah, it was pretty nice. I mean, that's pretty close to, where I first started, because I was like, okay, I can see lava down there, and, once I started to explore down there because I wanted to test something out, I was like, oh, hey, here's an unfinished gate to the netherworld and all that, so, yeah. And, yeah, to find that village that I was talking about, I got in the water down here, and this is actually just a lake over there. And that was kind of unfortunate, because I decided, I was like, I'm going to, because the ocean, more rivers are connected pretty close. You see that? That's a man-made little river right there, going off into the distance. And that's because I dug one out and I filled it full of water to make myself all the way over to another river system, which connects and goes all the way around back to here. So by the end of it, I found my way back home, and I was like, oh, that whole entire time, I never found another village. Until I went one way later on, and I was like, well, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting lost here. And yeah. See, this is the problem. That's the problem with all these sky places. So, anyways, later time that I went on my little expedition, which was kind of, I didn't want to put a bed, so I didn't want to be out there too long. I didn't want to get lost. I had a compass with me, and like I said, I was pretty stupid at the beginning because I should have learned how all the coordinates worked. But I was like, I'm going to survive no matter what. I have a few diamond things, and I'm going to explore the world really quick, and I found a sunken ship. It was pretty cool. And on my way back from that adventure, somehow I ended up all the way over there. And I still have my compass, so I was gonna find home anyways. But then I ran into my very first village, and I was so freaking happy. I looked at, I was like, I think as soon as my wife got home, when she got off work that day, I was like, I found a village. I'm so happy, so very happy, because it's lonely up here on top. But when you finally find that place, I was like, okay, I'm gonna build a way up to it. I'm gonna build a spotlight. I'm gonna find my way. It turns out it was like 300 tiles away from this place right here, or maybe 400. But it was not far from home. Okay, this whole entire time, and I went completely all the way around. So you never know until you explore. And now that I have all the proper gear, I feel like I can just run in one direction forever and explore most of the world and be able to come back and not be dead. I still have this weird hesitation about planting down a bed somewhere else that isn't an established home. I have a problem with it. I need to get over that. I need to be able to just be on the coast or build like a quick little dirt home, throw a bed in there. But I would just really hate to die and lose everything on the whole other side of the planet. I'm not prepared for that loss. Not prepared for it. Anyways, so yeah, this is Skybase. Skybase out.